Hey there, so today we have another review, and this is a beer from Sierra Nevada. This is Coffee Stout. So this is part of the mixed pack they do. Surprisingly, they put a Coffee Stout in there. First off, the pack comes with basically all hoppy beers. Other than this, surprised that I guess you're mixing it up, but also surprised that, is Sierra Nevada Porter and Stout being produced anymore? I just don't find those beers anymore. Very curious. I'd love to see that actually in the mixed pack, but who knows? Anyway, this is a coffee porter, 6.2%. It is brewed with cold brew coffee. Interesting thing about this beer is, I tried to research all the beers and trying to find out as much information as I can on the website, and it comes in at a finishing Plato of 4.7. Plato is sort of like a brewer's kind of language, but I think a lot of home brewers use gravity. So I think that comes out to about 1.018, 1018 finishing gravity, which is actually pretty high. On the BJCP, that's pretty much on the high end of what a American Stout or Porter has. So this beer has, I guess, a good amount of residual sweetness. To give you a range, the lower end of that range is I think like 1010, 1018 is decently high. Something like Budweiser, I think is like 0.99 is like almost as close to water, or like 0.1. Yeah, I think it's under 1. 1 is pretty much gravity. Like 1 is gravity, and then like obviously there's alcohol's lower than 1, and then like there's residual sugar obviously in beer, so it's like 10 whatever, or 11 whatever for big beers. Anyway, this is a huge little thingy to talk about gravities and all that stuff. If you guys are curious, have any questions, please post in the comments below. But we're just consider reviewing this beer. Beer comes in a beautiful kind of dark brown to almost black color, pretty much black. Very, very dark beer. It has a wonderful dark brown head to it. Tiny bubble. It smells like cold brew. It has a nice chocolatey, it almost actually smells like a coffee chocolate stout. There's a lot of chocolate riding on this one. I guess the cold brew has like this, softness to it, and almost comes off chocolatey. A little bit of like anise flavor too. A little bit bitter. Yeah, and there's sweetness too. Yeah, they say bittersweet, fruity, dark chocolate, and caramel-like notes. Quite nice. Well formed coffee stout. It really does drink like a wonderful carbonated glass of cold brew, like on CO2 instead of nitro. Obviously, cold brew is generally put in nitro. That's nice. Rich, smooth, chocolatey flavors driving throughout. Coffee is very tame on this one. Lingers really nice, and just like the mouthfeel is silky, but then the coffee flavor is really nice and kind of like subtle on the palate. It's very soft. That's what I'm looking for. It's soft. It doesn't have rugged edges of like, garbage, kind of like a gas station coffee or something like that. It doesn't have like intense bitterness to it. It has a nice soft bitterness that rides in, plays with that kind of roast quality, the acidity of the beer. Actually, that's probably part of it, because the cold brew is quite acidic. So you want like the sweetness of the beer to balance it out. And obviously that's why probably there's a higher finishing gravity on this beer. This beer is dry, acidic, roasty. And a little bit of caramel in the middle. Maybe have to warm it up a little bit. Upfront flavors a little bit to be desired. A little bit of like graininess in here. Yeah, a little bit of like plain graininess in here, but really nice kind of rich coffee flavors. And then the stout sits in the background a little bit, not overly roasty to, you obviously don't want too much roast of the stout and too much roast of the coffee, so both interplay quite well. And there's nice bitterness that dries out in the back end. It has a little bit of that kind of like coffee ground kind of intensity on the back end. Very good. That's our rating. Nice beer actually to break up everything hoppy in the box. Let's go with a 90. Solid beer. Sierra Nevada Coffee Stout. I'm enjoying it. 90. Until next time, guys. Cheers. Later.